And
when you first went there, you saw a lot of very disturbing things, right?
yeah, yeah.
Did you meet deaf people that time?
Yeah, we were able to meet with deaf people there.
Did it help you adjust to what you were seeing or what you were feeling? Did it feel like good to talk with deaf people and to express yourself in sign language?
It was, I would say it was good to get their perspective.
Right.
And I think it was good for me to hear what they were saying, but also they may have been happy and glad that an outsider could hear their story as well, right? Because deaf people, even disabled people during that era, that time, they had the most difficult times to get information,
Right.
to get access.
Yeah.
So they were always
I think just
behind.
getting attention was a big issue because
Yeah.
like all you need to do actually is just vent and
Right.
talk about that, you know,
Right.
just let it out.
Right, right. I mean, the good thing about the deaf community is that when they're together, they can immediately talk with each other, and you know, it's tighter than just with a bunch of hearing people who don't know
Right.
each other. They feel still like awkward.
Right.
So the deaf community is more tighter that way.
Right. So was it difficult for you? I mean, the work. So you were.
It was difficult to see how there was nothing there, right? And I would just walk by, and like we would do work and like clean out stuff, and but like on our lunch breaks we just walk by, and I would just imagine all this area, like you would see a few houses standing, right? It was like skeletons, and you could imagine like this whole block was filled with houses, and like I could imagine during the summer people would have barbecues, kids would be running around playing, and now it's just like nothing, and it's especially I think creepy at night. There's no street lights, and
It's
it's just like a ghost town,
Yeah.
and I never experienced that ever. So it was, I don't know. It was kind of like, wow, we are all mortal, and life can just come and go, and there is nothing that is out there to help us,
Right.
right? So for me, it really made me think about my life and how like, I should do the most that I can. And I think that we shouldn't take our lives for granted and be in this like constant like, I'd say lazy state. So
It's kind of pushed you.
yeah, it pushed me
to push more.
like to focus more on my goals and what I want to do, and not just say I want to do something, but to actually do it, right? Like,
Yeah, especially when you meet people like that guy. You know, he didn't talk. He just went.
right, yeah, Jamie, yeah.
Yeah.
He just went and he started his own NPO, and like he was helping people, yeah.
So what you were seeing there, it's scary, right? Did you ever cry? Were you ever upset to the point it was just too much?
I didn't cry. I didn't come my way like post-traumatic with any post-traumatic disorder. I just felt like sadness. Right? I just, you know, whatever you believe in, whatever you think, whatever happens, like,
Whatever you plan.
whatever you plan, you can't plan for it. So, and I really like the philosophy of like being focused on the now, right? Not on what happened years ago or just yesterday, not what will happen, but focus on the now. Enjoy now, and do your best now, so that when you do die, you've done it, right? You've done that goal. You've done whatever you want to do. It's kind of like what Steve Jobs said, like, you know, he wanted to do everything the best he could that day, so that if he died, then he would know that he would have no, I guess, no regrets.
Right.
Having no regrets
Right.
would be the best way to go,
Right.
right?
So you were meeting deaf people there. Do you think being there actually helped you understand Japanese culture in general?
Being in Tohoku
Yes.
area, when that happened, I've been pretty much immersed in Japanese culture.
Mm-hmm.
So I did understand a lot already. Anything new that I learned? Hard to say. It was really interesting to interview the deaf people and find out like what happened afterwards. Like especially two couples, one was working, one was working somewhere else. So the one that was working had to be evacuated into like the shelters.
Oh.
and the husband was at home, and he was like trying to get in contact with his wife. He didn't know like what happened to her. It took about 3 or 4 days before they could contact each other, right? So, and then afterwards, what happened was, you know, there was no gasoline, so that you couldn't use your car. So they would have to use a bicycle, and they told me their story about that and how it was kind of challenging. So I was like, okay, that was from their perspective, it was really interesting to learn what they, you know, just kind of like what they experienced, because their experience, everybody's experience is going to be different, but them being deaf is going to add to that.
I was going to ask, it is more difficult for them, right?
Yeah.
Information, just access to things.
Right, so
right?
they have to rely on people, right?
Yeah.
Right, so some people who are deaf, they were working at their companies, but luckily their coworkers knew a little bit of sign language.
Right.
Right.
So they helped.
They helped, yeah, yeah. I mean, the good thing about Japan is like people do come together, and they won't just think for themselves, right? They will help other people. So I guess that helps with a lot of things, with like big terrible situations in Japan, right?
Yeah.
It's not like in America where like some disaster happens, then it's like, okay, time to go to a mall and steal some TVs, right? It's not gonna be like that, yeah.
Yeah, that was all over the internet, how Japanese people lined up to get ramen or something, you know, how they didn't actually break into abandoned supermarkets, stores.
Right, yeah, I mean, like...
So, and then you returned, you made another trip with a bigger group.
Yeah, we did that with 20 people, so, because I made a video, and...
And where is that video? Because you promised me this video.
It's not online? Alright, I think I've uploaded it, and then I just didn't... I don't know.
Because I remember you were like, everybody was working and Danny was filming, and I was like, okay, so where's the result of your work? Oops, sorry.
It could be stuck on a hard drive somewhere.
Shut up.
Yeah.
I don't believe you.
Yeah, I have it though, I have it.
Yeah.
I just don't know where it is.
Yeah. So on that trip there was somebody from Hawaii, right? And there were Japanese deaf people, Japanese hearing people, me, and who else? Yeah. Right, and I remember you interpreting, so you were sitting somewhere, right, and there's a bunch of people, and we were using communication board to explain things, right, but you kind of get tired of writing stuff, right, so you would just interpret, and then I sat there and I watched it and I thought, like, it's a difficult job, you know?
Yeah, interpreting is freaking hard.
Right? Because all the jokes, all the messiness of people speaking several different languages and you voicing it and signing it, like, were you tired? I remember you were like always, oh.
Yeah, it was, yeah, that's exactly, when you're going from like English to Japanese and like Japanese sign language to English and then like American sign language to Japanese, it's like six different combinations,
yes,
right?
Yeah.
Right, so different combinations, and then like you have multiple people talking.
Yeah.
It's hard.
So, after this big long day, I remember some days you guys, so guys went to do some physical work, girls kind of had easier jobs, right? So after you worked all day, you come back, you also have to again sign, interpret, right? What is the best way to relax for you after a bad day? Bad meaning not bad, but just
a lot of hard
tired.
work.
Yeah. What do you do? Like, how do you relax? Okay, you were signing, interpreting all day, you were also speaking several languages. What do you do to relax and kind of just take it, you know?
Usually have a beer.
Or 5.
Or 5. Yeah. Have a, you know, just that, or just my earphones and just listen to music.
What do you listen?
Recently I've been listening to a lot of podcasts. Like Joe Rogan's podcast. It's basically like, because I don't have that much of a guy community here. Like a lot of my friends, you know, we see each other once every week or whatever. So but it's not like being at home like when I was growing up. It's like always hanging out with my friends and always talking about like dumb theories. So that, yeah, Joe Rogan, he does that with his friends.
But doesn't it get, you know, like you're tired and then you listen to somebody talking into your ear?
Or when I'm tired, I want to laugh.
Right, so you just, that's...
Right, yeah, I want to laugh, or sometimes, it's funny, like when you're tired, I also want to play video games.
Well, then I understand, because you're like,
I guess, but video games are kind of very engaging. You have like some video games you have to like think about strategy, but I don't know. It's
But
very
I guess
strange.
it's because you're switching, like you focus on something completely different. That's why. It's
Yeah, maybe
relaxing.
that's it. Yeah, like and
Yeah.
it's like I'm in my own world.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let me just kill these zombies with my plants. Let me just. Yeah.
And then, do you ever need this, like silence? Okay, I don't want to sign anymore. I don't want to interpret. I don't want to hear anybody. I just need to sit in a quiet place and just don't. I don't want to use my hands or anything.
That's a very good question. I don't think I'm that type of person. I'm not just like let me be in like a quiet place. Like, I've never been in a quiet place. So if I am, let's say, stressed, I'll go for a run, right? But that's not very quiet. Like,
Yeah.
that's like I'm just doing another activity, right?
So you're tired, but you get even more tired, but just different
Yeah,
kind of tiredness.
I think if I'm really exhausted, then I'll just sleep. And that's what helps me recharge. It's like either sleeping or I'm just gonna do something else.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm gonna focus on something else.
Okay.
Which is probably why I can't remember anything.